Good Sunday morning from the west coast of the United States. I'm Rocken Larry Locken with Pleiadian Express Productions, Pleiadian Talk. Today we're here to talk about the Munay-ki Rites in the continuing series that I've been doing with Natalie, Alaya. We're going to go ahead and review Rites 5 and 6, and we're also going to talk about Rites 7 and 8. And Natalie, I want to welcome you to the show, and I do have to apologize. We were supposed to do this several hours ago, but as you know, yesterday I had to take Sif back to the airport, and it was just a crazy day, and I really needed to get some rest. I got a few hours sleep and finally got to hear from Sif, so now I'm calm and relaxed and ready to do the show. How are you over there in the...
I'm great. You know what? It wasn't a problem for me, Larry, and thank you also for that warm welcome. I've been busy too. My son is doing exams, so things are in between doing all this stuff. I'm driving him and picking him up from study, so it was perfect. And, 3D life, sometimes things just don't go as we planned.
Yeah, definitely. And of course, the sucky thing about 3D is we are one of the only dimensions that recognize time. So there's this time difference, and I know that it's getting into the evening where you're at over there in the land of the Shamrock. But I'm really excited about this, and well, this is our fourth show in the series, and the other three have been really great, and I'm looking forward to get going on this. So why don't you recap a little bit?
Yeah, sure. Okay. So the last two rites that we did, the fifth and sixth rite, we're very personal, healing our inner female and inner male. The last one was the inner male energy. And now we're moving from that very personal, very kind of deep, healing of ourselves, taking a leap up to the archangel realms with this seventh rite. And besides that, the archangels, what you're actually connecting to also is a lineage of earth keepers who knew how to work with the archangels and how to call on their power. So part of the rite is, you are, of course, I believe, too, directly connecting with the archangels. You're also connecting in with the earth keepers who have worked with the archangels, maybe even in the future. Because always with them, as you just said, their time is not so different for them. And everything is very, very quick with the archangels. And that was really apparent. Now, we did the rite. Usually we do these talks before the rite, but I did the seventh rite this morning, and it was amazing.
You know what? I feel amazing now just from the energies of that. And yeah, I was going to say we usually do the shows beforehand, but I do feel pretty amazing now and starting to feel these calming energies. And I just think it's incredible. And really, the archangels, like you say, they don't exist in time. Everything is in the now moment and interdimensional and all at once. And yeah, this is really catching fire, and I'm just really excited about it.
And the transmit. So basically, when I do the rites, I get as I'm meditating beforehand, and when I'm opening sacred space, there's things that I do as a shaman to open the sacred space, and messages were just flooding in with this rite. There was a lot of Atlantean, Lemurian energy, and I'd love Jade. I see Jade is there. I'd love her to talk about that experience. If she'll come on, and also a real deep connection with a lot of us, two things, with the Blu-ray energy and the tree energy. And the tree as a healer, I connected with the cosmic tree during the meditation after the rite, where it was literally spanning dimensions and parallel realities, and there was energy like little balls of swirling light going through the roots for one purpose, going to the branches for another, and those going to the leaves for another purpose. And it was really like looking at a kaleidoscope, and it was beautiful. And a lot of people who, received the rite also had similar, synchronicities, connections. It's really lovely to see that. And for both of us, I get the confirmation that I'm not crazy, and they get the confirmation they're not crazy either.
Exactly. It's almost if these balls of energy, I feel like they come down through the sky, and if you can see into those dimensions, it does look like a kaleidoscope. All these different energies, violet, blue, and whatnot, and they come down in these trees for a purpose. And I was always under the impression that these energies were coming down maybe from a ship, and maybe it's from the archangels as well. I feel like they come down through like a thread in the sky, and and the more the veil thins, the more that we're able to see these types of things. But yeah, I totally agree that the cosmic tree of life resonates with me because I see it as a collective. They go into these trees like orbs almost and form a collective.
Yeah, that's what I was seeing. And at one point, I saw, like, I was calling in the directions, and I was seeing gold orbs go into the earth, little golden balls or spheres of energy soaking into the earth like a rain, and she was just soaking it up. And then when I was connecting during the transmission, it was coming up like that. The earth energy was golden rays from the earth coming into us during the transmission. A lot of gold energy. There was dragon energy. Also with the star constellations, because part of this rite is connecting you in the third eye to star energy. And I'm sorry, I have to go over my notes, and I'm just because from the event, just to make sure I have it correct. I think it was okay, let me see now. It was definitely Andromeda, Pleiades, Venus, the moon came in. Venus and the moon came in strong. Pleiades, Andromeda, Polaris, and Ursa Major, the bear. I haven't really worked much with Ursa Major, so I don't know what that's coming in for, but it was nice. And Polaris.
And Polaris as well. I do have to tell you, though, that last night the moon was really coming in really, really strong, and it got really low out here where I'm at. It crept into the fog, and I was doing some moon gazing last night. I haven't done any moon gazing in a long time, but it just seemed like the moon was getting closer and closer, and I really felt like some Pleiadian energies from the moon. I almost felt like a collective was in contact with me, trying to give me a download from the moon, or it was just the moon energies itself. And
there definitely was. I got the message from the south direction. The moon came in that, and I was getting the message about the inner moon water.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, I felt like the moon was coming in from the south too. It was actually last night, and these gold orbs that I see out over the bay in the Pacific Ocean were really strong last night too, and so it's just really incredible.
Yeah, it's nice to get all the connections and the synchronicities and to match them up, map them out in a way. Also, I felt like the inner womb. The inner moon waters were connecting to our inner womb. So yeah, our creative source, our energy, and I felt like there was this huge nurturing and love coming from it. I also, in this rite with the Archangel rite, I was connecting to Archangel Michael and Uriel, but that doesn't mean that other ones weren't coming in, but that's the ones that I felt the presence of very strongly.
Wow, incredible. Yeah, I do too. That's funny you mentioned Archangel Uriel. I saw the name Archangel Uriel yesterday, just in passing, and I didn't know that somebody was, had that for their name on Facebook and posted somewhere, and I just looked at the name for a second, I didn't think much of it because I know that, the energies very well, but then you mentioned Archangel Uriel, and it just ties into the synchronicity that's running abound.
Yeah, that you'll see it, and then you'll know right away. Oh yeah, I saw that, or you'll make the connections quicker. They don't have to pound it into us. We're accepting quicker too, making the connections quicker. So I don't know if Jade or Lisa want to jump in and talk about their experience, especially with the Atlantean, Lemurian, and the trees. I don't know if either one of them want to pop on.
Don't be shy. We are, it's just us. It's just the four of us in the room. So don't be shy. Don't be nervous. We want to hear your voice.
Okay. So Jade just says she can't because Vlad is asleep. Okay. We understand. All right. So Maybe Jade, you can chat, and we can read what you're chatting about the. I think she was getting downloads for the Temple of Isis
Right. You were getting.
in Atlantis.
Yeah. Yes. You get some Atlantean energies.
Hmm. So I don't know how do you feel about that? See, I connect with the Egyptian mythology because I mean, it's in my blood too,
Yes.
being Lebanese, and my grandmother was raised in Alexandria, Egypt. But and I do connect with Osiris and Anubis, Isis, Nefertiti, Nephthys, Hathor, all of those. So Temple of Isis, I assume there's multiple ones, but what I was thinking was that she was getting the new downloads for a new temple rising.
Yeah, that's what I'm feeling too. I think that we do have new temples rising and new pyramids rising, and I'm not really strong into the Egyptian energy. I don't think that I was here for that, but I'm really into the Lemurian energies and somewhat of the Atlantean energies too.
Mm.
I think that with Atlantis, I have some kind of a block, or I don't know. I'm trying to resonate with the Atlantean energy more, but I really do with the Lemurian energy for some reason.
Yeah, you know what? I'm the same, Larry. I resonate much more with Lemurian energy and Mu people and the inner Earth. Um, I connect more with them on journeys, but I well, we'll see. I don't have anything against Atlantis, but maybe I didn't spend time there. You know?
Exactly. I think I do have a little bit of an issue with Atlantis because they were more of a society that went totally corporately wrong and kind of a
Mm,
fascist empire that was really the global dominance, whereas Lemuria was just kind of a very high-tech society in their own right, but more so through consciousness and more so about just kind of being peaceful and and staying to their own. I don't think that they wanted to have the global dominance that Atlantis did necessarily. And keeping in mind, there's probably been a few different incarnations of Atlantis. I'm thinking of when Atlantis and Lemuria at one time were both going on Earth as super high-tech societies with
mm.
and pyramids and temples that can power the whole planet and crystals with their energy. Now we're just stationed everywhere to power the whole planet, and maybe we're activating, like you said, with these codes, some new ones, or maybe we're rising old ones. It's just thinking of.
Or old ones with new codes. I don't fully get it yet, but Lisa just commented that she has a lot of Egyptian and Atlantis memories, and she was a priestess for Anubis. That's cool. That's so fascinating.
It is, and I noticed that Jade commented too. She's talking about seeing the temple of the Isis in Atlantis and recognizing that the temple of Isis, let's see, she was about to add a temple map of Egypt. She was drawing. Yeah, I'm trying to read. I'm trying to read this, and at the same time, while babbling to myself. Lisa.
So she knew it was a temple of Isis because in the sync, when she was adding the temple to a map of Egypt, she was drawing Lisa's cat was lounging on her lap during the rites. her cat named Isis. Oh, I love it.
That certainly is interesting.
Mm.
I wondered if Lisa might come on. Would Lisa be willing to come on air and give her account? No, it's okay. I
It's
understand.
okay. Yeah, yeah. I think we can
Can
just.
you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Hi, Lisa.
Hello, Natalie.
So good to hear your voice.
It's good to hear yours too. I'm used to seeing you online. I'm not used to talking to you.
Yeah, but you see, we were all talking to each other in our heads anyway.
Now, during this whole rite, Isis was stretched out across my lap with her paw on my heart chakra. And as
Oh.
soon as we felt the energy cut off from you transmitting, she got up and walked out of the room.
Yeah, done. Oh, they're so funny. Yeah, that's so amazing. And I really like your story because you've been on this path and doing a shaman's path for a while, and then things that kind of stalled for you,
Yes.
Lisa. So maybe talk about that. I think people would love to hear and connect with your story.
Well, I had been studying with a Lakota medicine man in Colorado.
Mm.
I used to own a metaphysical store in Parker, Colorado, and he was one of the teachers that would come in and give classes and do
Mm.
shamanic journeys. And then when the Army transferred my husband and I here, everything kind of just stopped. The area that I'm in is not really an open or accepting area of the country, so to speak.
Yeah,
And then when I connected with you guys, it's like everything started again.
yeah, beautiful.
And it's been a wonderful journey so far.
The group the group is just so awesome. Maybe not everyone comments or interacts, but everyone is enjoying the energy because some people don't like to say as much. But I've been getting private messages from some people who don't like to talk as much, and they're all feeling it and sending love to everyone too.
Yes, this group is really cohesive.
Very cohesive. I just, this is what holding sacred space is about. It's making sure that the energies that need to be there become cohesive, and that's what the shaman does, is hold that space. So, and
Yes.
then I think the grids that everyone is doing also anchors the space, and that's why it is so cohesive, because then we're all working together. It's not just me holding it. It's
It's
all of
funny.
us with our grids.
I haven't been working with grids a whole lot until I started attracting all of these crystal skulls.
Mm. Yeah, they're
And
gorgeous.
and then I started making grids with them. Now, when we were in the session today, I
Mm.
had a candle burning in front of the clear quartz skull Nyx that I have, and
Oh yeah,
I
Nick.
I opened my eyes, and the light shining through her was the constellation of Orion. I could actually see Orion's belt
Oh
in the
wow.
back of her head.
Oh, I'm getting chills. Yeah, that's amazing.
I wanted to throw in something too. Don't you guys find that when you hear the accounts, from these different people in the collective, different soul family, that it's just so resonating that it has to be true. There's either that or we're all going crazy.
We're all going crazy together.
A great bunch of people to go crazy with now.
This is true.
Yeah, it would be even more incredible than what's really going on. But it's just amazing because everybody's got a little bit something different to add, but yet everything is resonating at the same time.
Yeah, I love the connection. Now, Orion, I feel a strong connection to Orion myself. I was told that a lot of my energy came from Orion. Now, I know when I had my Akashic record read, they said I was Andromedan originally. But I think when you've had so many lifetimes in a certain place, it's like you feel the connection there. Whether like, I just feel like I spent a lot of lifetimes around Orion.
Yes.
Yeah, me too, but not for anything positive. I feel like I was in some kind of a galactic war, maybe against them, with as either a Lyran soul or later on as a Pleiadian soul. So it's taken me some adjustment to be accepting of, or try to be accepting of Orion type energies.
I
Oh,
know that
really?
I'm sorry, Natalie.
It's okay. I'm just I didn't realize, I've never had anything negative with Orion, but yeah, go on, Lisa.
No, I was thinking back to the fifth rite where I had the experience of going back to my original star family.
Hmm.
And that was such a profound experience because I had had some abandonment issues come in,
Mm-hmm.
and I was able to clear those. But in clearing those is when my lower back went out.
Yeah, let me just interrupt. I'd say 50% of us in that rite had back issues. No joke.
Really?
Yep.
No question about it.
Wow.
So many, I'd say more than half, maybe even, that received it had back issues or commented about back issues privately. So yeah, that was a huge one for all of us. So go on.
No,
Yeah.
my husband and I were talking after that because my back has basically been out for the last week. It's getting better, but he and I were talking about the different chakras and what that particular chakra represents, which is basically your foundation.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
And the message that I had gotten from that was that I had built my foundation on the abandonment issues that I had had. And
Ah,
that my
yeah.
back went out and that chakra went out basically because I had cleared that, and that I then needed to rebuild the foundation.
So I just feel a connection now between that and then what Jade was getting about this Temple of Isis. Maybe new temples are coming up or being downloaded to come up. The download to upload, because it is a new foundation.
Yes. And the
Ooh,
dream that I had a dream that they came in and they were pyramids, but one of them was a rose quartz pyramid that was
Ooh.
facing down,
Mm-hmm.
and on top of it was a garnet pyramid facing up, and they said that was my new foundation. That was the beginning of my new
Ooh.
foundation.
Yeah. Okay, I'll have to look up garnet. I love garnet again, but I don't remember the quality. I know rose quartz heart, but garnet, I'll have
Garnet is
to.
about strength and about spirituality.
Okay, so a really strong, and then with the directions up and down.
Yeah, male and female.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, cool.
And I've got goosebumps all over now.
Oh yeah, no, I mean there's so much amazing stuff, and it's funny, Larry, you should see some of us when we get going. The comments start flying, and everyone's like, "Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God."
Yeah, it's just like, yeah, it's a race to comment and share because it's so resonating, and it's just so intriguing as we start sharing these stories, putting this puzzle together, working together as a collective and
Hmm.
puzzle together. It's just amazing how it just triggers. Somebody will say one thing and it triggers another thing in somebody else's thoughts, and it just
I also think that a lot of us in there work with the trees. You have a tree connection. You have a strong tree connection, Lisa.
I do. I've got several oak trees that are here in the yard. I call one of them my sentinel, and it has three trunks coming out of a single root system
Mm-hmm.
that form
Wow.
kind of a cup.
Yeah.
And this just a couple of days ago, I was sitting out in the garden, and I realized that I could see the energy coming off of the trees and the plants in the garden.
Yeah.
And I'm used to seeing that when I'm working on someone or when I'm doing Reiki. If the room is dim, I can actually see the energy lines coming off of the person, but I've
Yeah.
never experienced that in full daylight, in bright sunlight.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing when that happens. I had that activation a few years ago, and even now, sometimes it can kind of make driving a little difficult because I'll be like, "Oh my God, look at the trees!
Uh-huh.
Wait, look at the road, Natalie."
yeah, really, you're driving in the third dimension that you're seeing in multi dimensions.
It is. It can be kind of like, focus. My guides are great, but like sometimes I'm just like, guys, stop showing me this stuff when I'm driving.
Yeah, really wait till I get home. And I wanted to ask Lisa real quick too. Lisa, have you ever noticed in, say, looking at trees or looking at bushes, have you ever noticed like, orb faces or shape shifting type entities per se.
I have a lot of what I would call elementals or fairies
Yes.
in my yard, and I actually was able to start seeing them this past fall and winter.
Yeah. Wow.
Wow, that is fascinating. I think a lot of people have, especially this last year. I've noticed them for a couple of years and not paid as much attention to them as I should have. But yeah, it's the veil thinning, basically, the way I look at it.
Yeah. I definitely think the veil is thinning, and see,
Most
it can cause, when you've done work already, you're kind of more okay with it. But I think but what I'm noticing, like, okay, I've been on this path for 10 years.
Hmm.
I'm seeing people, okay, Jade is one of them. I'm going to call you out, Jade. She's just started, and she's just like amazing, you know? It's like, and then she just, it cracks me up because I'm like, yeah, well, I've been doing this for 10 years, but you just start, and she gets all these amazing messages and stuff like that. So it doesn't matter. People are really activating quite quickly.
Yes.
The new ones, the new little whatever Blu-rays coming. She says she's oblivious. No, you're not, Jade.
You are the energy. Excuse me. The energies are just they're so quick and it comes in stages. It seems like if Natalie, you've been doing this for 10 years, and it was more of a subtle, slow process. Then other waves came in 5 years ago, and a little bit quicker, and then another wave a little bit quicker, and then it seems like people lately are just it's instantaneously in the download.
I'm seeing people wake up, and I think they've been awake for ages, and they're like, oh, I just woke up last week. Okay.
No doubt about it. It's incredible, and they don't even realize what all they know. It's just incredible to
Yeah.
share
So, and some of them are handling it really well without doing all the grounding work, but I always say to everyone, ground, 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 ground. It's the best way, just like the tree, send down into the roots. If you really want to ground, I think send the energy to the roots. I think the different functions, now this is the way that I see it, the roots are for like growth, gathering energy, almost like the seeding. The branches are like branching out, going into other areas, exploring when you want that energy. And the leaves, to me, again, they're like a collection. It's like energy collection. When you really need to collect energy, you go into the leaves. You send your energy into the leaves to harvest energy.
to harvest your soul. No, I'm
Yeah, it could be. It could be. I don't know. I had a tree tell me recently that they came from another planet too. So I was like, okay.
well, I don't doubt it at all. I mean, and it could be too that these tree collectives are obviously whatever you want to call them. They're obviously ascended beings of such a great magnitude that it's really,
Well, everyone talks about all the like, oh, the dinosaurs,
yeah. You cut out there, Natalie. What was that about the dinosaurs? Hello? I think Natalie is having technical difficulties. It's okay. It happens to the best of us. Natalie, can you hear me? Oh, there you are in the room again. You cloned yourself. Yeah, totally, Lisa. It's definitely all the energy in here for sure. It happens a lot during these situations.
I'm back.
Yeah, you are.
I'm back. So yeah, the trees lasted. I just wanted to finish that. The dinosaurs went extinct. Trees didn't.
Yeah, I think though, what I get from my guides is that the dinosaurs were some kind of an experiment, well, like everything is, but I think the dinosaurs were actually, for the most part, they were killed off by extraterrestrials. And yeah, the trees didn't die off. They've always been here. They could probably come and go, whereas the dinosaurs.
Hello?
Hello, it's all the energy in here. Jen,
It
I
is.
can you hear me. I see you're in the room. Please mute your microphone. If you want to talk, go ahead and add something. But when you're not talking, please mute your microphone because it causes a whole bunch of feedback. But yeah, go ahead, Natalie.
Yeah, I just wanted to go on a little bit more about the also just about the archangel rite.
Yes.
The Southern Cross at the end of the rite. You know, these rites are evolving, and what I've written down in the notes is from like the notes that I got when I got the Munay-ki Rites so many years ago. But we've talked about this before, I'm very open to changing certain things, especially to adapt to different people. And one of the changes I did was, the transmission through distance, transmission using Reiki. And I also transmitted the rites today to Lisa and someone else through spirit, not using Reiki. So that there was that shift. But one of the things is doing the Southern Cross at the end of this rite. And the Southern Cross is actually the Pleiades. It's supposed to be kind of like a symbol of the Pleiades. And it's also the Shekinah, so they call that the Southern Cross in Peru. It's kind of a step. Looks like a pyramid upside down, and upside down pyramid both ways. Maybe I'm not explaining it right, but anyway, so it's like basically at the end of this rite, you're blessing each of the chakras with the Pleiadian energy. That's what I wanted to add.
That's fascinating. There was an old song by Crosby, Stills, and Nash and Young called Southern Cross, so I'm going to have to listen to it a little bit more and see if I feel the connection coming through them, whether they knew it or not, and if it relates to that.
The astrology for today was fabulous too, because Alcyon, which is, I guess, it's one of the seven sisters. Do you say Alcyone? How do you say it?
I pronounce it Alcyone, but it is pronounced Alcyone, or however you want to say it.
Okay. That's part of the Pleiades, isn't it? It's one of the stars.
It's their central sun, actually. Yeah.
Oh, it's their central sun. So it's at 0 degrees Gemini. So the astrology for the day, we had the sun in, there was a lot of Gemini energy, basically. And our sun and Alcyone were lined up in Gemini. And this rite is connecting you to the stars and our local sun. And I just thought it was a beautiful synchronicity. Larry, I couldn't have picked the days for these rites better, astrologically,
Well, totally. And you know what? I've been doing some sun gazing again lately, and I had this thought last week that as the sun kind of was spinning to the side, that actually through our sun is a portal and a gateway to the Pleiades. And what we're seeing back up to these sun energies is you're seeing the Alcyone sun, almost like a dual sun function. I know a few years ago we had that. We had Alcyone and our sun and the moon, and it was the first ever 2 sun, 1 moon eclipse in 26,000 years. But I just wanted to share that thought of the impressions that I got while sun gazing the other day.
I like that. I really felt that it was nice that we were getting this with the direct connection. And Gemini energy is very much about learning, downloads. It's air element. It's very quick, knowledgeable, and it's very social energy too. And so social, so maybe the sun and Alcyone are, having a little get together too. I really felt there was like a reuniting energy with this rite too. At the beginning of the rite, I felt very much reuniting of lost loves, or something. It doesn't even have to be the twin flame, but just something that you love, or a person that you love coming back into your life with this rite. And you know what, Larry? I know people. I'd love to hear, how are things with you and Sif? Sif has gone back to Denmark. How are these rites been affecting you two?
It's just been incredible. We had a really great 30 days together, and I took it to the airport yesterday. And of course, it's been a really hard day. It's been kind of hard on me, but we're just looking forward to the future and hopefully we'll be together again on a full-time basis within the next few months to a year. You know, get all the immigration stuff sorted out and whatnot. But I'll tell you what, Natalie, the 30 days, it was great, but it just went by like a flash. And I know people say, well, time flies when you're having a good time, but it was just really like a blink of an eye. And I really wanted to touch on again about the reuniting of the suns. I feel like that's what it is with Alcyone and our sun. I feel like either we're going through a portal through our sun and the planet is, you know, headed into the Pleiadian star system, or
something like that. I really connect with that, Larry.
exactly, and that's kind of how I've been feeling the last week or so. But yeah, the energies have been great. It's just been really, really quick, you know. Just time is just, of course, like we always say, just speedy. It's going through one of those phases where it's going by like wildfire, and it seems to be getting quicker and quicker and quicker. But yeah, it was a good time. I mean,
And you guys have been, like, at least from messages that I've been getting from you and Sif, you know, really enjoying the rites and lots of resonance and synchronicity and what you're both experiencing.
totally. After the rites, you know, have been given, I know every week, the next day or that same day, her and I will, you know, talk about it a little bit, and mostly she will, and talk about how resonating it was. And, you know, I really can't give an example, but then when I hear everybody else's examples, it's just extremely.
It stimulates your own memory, yeah.
Yeah, it's almost like it's hard to explain any of this unless, you know, you're going through it like we all are. We just feel it.
Well, another thing that Jade was, the grid that Jade made for this rite, which had these thunder eggs, and I really feel like we're making star maps, new star maps, for the new destination that we're growing and going to. She has these eggs that have these crystals inside. They're called thunder eggs in Australia, and they're some of them are cut open, and to me it just looks like star maps and star designs.
Is it anything, Natalie, that you've ever seen with any other grids that you can?
Well, it's just like, it's almost like some of the symbols and the eggs that she has. I'm looking at the picture right now. It's like I've seen them in my dreams. I get a lot of dreams sometimes where I'm shown a screen and then images, music, sound, light are flashing. And I'm just like, okay, guys, like, I can't take this all in. And they always like, oh, don't worry, you'll get it all. You know, just keep looking at the screen. Yeah, I'm like, okay, yeah, okay.
Exactly, and you know, and it comes to kind of in bits and pieces, right?
And then, yeah, and then like it goes in the dream, but like I don't make the connection. Maybe it could even be a year later, but it all starts to piece together when the insight needs to come up. When the connection needs to be made. My cat Maisie is here meowing next to me.
Mine were just, I'll have to feed, I gotta feed them after.
They want some attention.
Yeah, they want some attention and love. It's all that energy that they're feeling as well. I wanted at some point too, Natalie, for you to talk about, I really feel like it's a key transition. They all are, but the 7th and the 8th, right? You know, as we go from the 7th rite into the 8th rite, it feels like, I think we were talking in the pre-show, more into the angelic realms. We're getting closer into the angelic realms.
Yeah, the energy is quite, like, you know, it is a huge leap. You know, you had the big leap at the 3rd rite. The first 2 rites are kind of like healing, protection. Then you have this, like, big leap up with the 3rd rite where you're getting into your power animals and really getting powerful. The 4th and 5th rite are back to the personal healing again, the inner male and female, and connecting with the stone altars and the medicine teachings. And now another big leap, like literally off planet into the galaxy. Yeah. And we kind of continue on until we get to the 10th rite, which is the Soul Star rite. Now I'm still typing up my notes. I'm sorry. What basically happened with me is all my notes for that rite were on a computer that is no longer functioning. So I'm having to like piece together, and I have someone give me my old notes, and I'll type it up. But the soul star is real. The last rite is about bringing down our soul energy from the fifth dimension here. So it's actually bringing more of the fifth dimension here and manifesting our soul purpose. And a lot of people who receive that rite really have beautiful stuff happening. So I can't wait. So that rite, we keep going up into the stars, and then I feel like at the 10th rite, we bring it back down, the stars back down to us. And I feel with the soul star that you really connect with your star family there too.
So it's sort of like the future and the past and the present just intersecting into one reality.
Is Alexis there? Is she there? Can she?
I don't see Alexis in the room.
I see someone, Pleiadian Express, who made a message.
That was Sif. That was actually Sif.
Oh, that's Sif. Okay, Sif, I love you.
Hi, Sif. Sif,
and we love you.
Love you too.
So welcome back home, and I know it'll be a blink of an eye when you get going back to Oregon to be with Larry.
Oh, I hope so. I hope so.
He was so nervous before he wanted to talk to you, so I was so glad you guys got to talk before he did the show, because he was really wanted to hear that you got home safely.
Yeah,
Precious love. Oh.
A little bit tired, but it's okay.
And what you said, you were just commenting on a new grid for Earth.
I've never ever seen anything like it.
Wow.
It was on a small plane from North Bend. I was taking, because we don't fly so high, I was taking amazing pictures from that plane.
Uh-huh.
And when I was looking back at those pictures, they showed double circles in rainbow colors.
Oh.
And just for a little bit, it was not the whole time, and I was thinking, what is it on the plane that can't be making this reflection? But there was nothing, because the rainbow colors were showing both on the clouds and off the clouds.
And all over the place.
And it was not the whole time, it was just for a little period of time. It was amazing, and I will post it on Facebook later if I can stay awake.
You better get those on Facebook, yeah. And
I will try.
And maybe
wow.
we'll share.
So you think a new energy grid for Earth? It's about time.
Absolutely. They, in my ears, they say it's not called even the energy grid. It's called crystalline grid.
Ooh, yes. That says it all. Crystalline grid.
And we, by being in this together, we are really combining the energy throughout the globe and integrating this energy through those rites. It's amazing. There's so much happening actually. I have to write all this down. I haven't had the time to write all this down.
Yeah, that's like after the rites, two people like. Messages are coming, comments are flying, and it's quite a buzz, but the information is so quick.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I really just feel honored to pass on these rights, and that all of us that are in the group, we're doing something really big, and we shouldn't be like too, there's always the humble, but also give ourselves a pat on the back because we're doing this together. It's all our energy together doing this.
Absolutely.
All give ourselves a pat on the back and some chocolate.
No, it really is amazing. And I just wanted to say, but Steph, I bet you that you didn't tell anybody what you were looking at on the plane, did you, when you were taking those pictures? Did you say, hey, look at this?
No, they looked at me oddly enough for taking all those pictures. I wasn't about to get thrown off the plane in the air. No. I just sat and smiled.
Exactly. I think Lisa just made a comment in the chat about how amazing it is, and there's no egos involved either. Really, isn't that the nice thing? I think that so much gets overlooked, the fact that we come together as a star collective, have these sessions, and Really, everybody, well, I would say they check their egos at the door. Hold on a second.
The dog has something to say.
They spark.
Uh,
Anyway, but yeah, there's no ego involved, and I find that with most people that I deal with in our collective, really the ego is gone, and or there's only a little bit of it left. You know what I mean?
mm. Yeah, it's going. I think again, all of us in the group have done a lot of work. Even those who think that they haven't or they're new to it, they really have. You must have done work in a previous time or in a previous way that you didn't realize you were doing it to clear the ego. And we seem to all really vibrate very cohesively.
Yeah, I think so too. Maybe we could hear from. I see that Jen's in the room. I was wondering if she might like to come on air and share a little bit of her experiences. Don't be nervous. It's okay. We've all been nervous before. No, okay. It's all good. If you want to share it in a text, you definitely can. If you want to type it out, that would be great.
Yeah, if you type it out, we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
So let's go on to next week's rite.
Yes.
So we're still going out to the stars with the next rite. The 8th rite is the Star Keeper rite. And in Quechua, they call it Mosak Harpi. It's just a Quechua word. I don't know if that's really important, but I like it, Mosak Harpi. And this rite is connecting you. Now, what Bilaldo has written and is in the notes, I'm getting more information about this, but I'll say first what's written in the notes and then the information I'm getting. It's bringing you towards Homo Luminous. It's changing your DNA and allowing you, he says that you're going to be able to live longer, look younger. I mean, I have these rites. I don't look my age, but I think a lot of people that are starseeds do not look their age.
Absolutely not. I don't mean to interrupt you there, but absolutely not. I noticed that most of at least my star sisters, you guys, you really all look. It doesn't matter whether you're 20 or 50 or 60. Really, I see, like, I don't see that much of an age difference in it.
Yeah, we don't seem to age the same way or something. I don't know what it is. Maybe that by acknowledging that connection in us, it keeps us younger. I don't know.
Yeah, I think so too, and I think it has to do with our star heritage, you know what I mean? Because you're getting a lot of, whether it's you, Natalie, whether it's Sif, or whether it's Raquel, or, I'm not, not to pick on you ladies that are in your 40s, of course, but you guys look like 20, ladies in their 20s would have 10, 15 years ago, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And now Jade's just blowing that all my theory.
Yeah, she said she's had gray hair. Well, I have gray hair too, but I just dye mine. Sorry.
It's okay. The hair club, just for women.
Hey, we all have our vanities and everything, so I'm allowed to have a few of mine. So he says, Bilaldo says, like, that it's like you'll be less susceptible to disease, you'll age slower, but I actually think we're bringing down star codes with this Star Keeper rite. And maybe it has something to do with the next 2 rites and opening up a stargate or something like that, bringing that into reality for humanity.
Yeah, no, totally. I totally agree. And, well, we're getting closer to the answer. I can definitely tell you that. I mean, or we're getting closer to, I say the answer, like there's going to be this big answer, but it's just nice to resonate and put the puzzle together like that.
Yeah, and then, like, just to go on over it, that the 9th rite is the creator. Now, the 9th rite is the last that, say, Bilaldo with the Munay-ki organization does. Now, there are actually, I think, 13 or 14 Munay-ki rites. So the newer rites have come, like the one that I channeled, and there's other ones since then.
Yeah, Natalie, that's funny you say that there's more rights because yesterday, when we were talking about setting the show up and I was looking, something basic, looking for a thumbnail pic to put on this program, and I saw one that said the 9 right.
So yeah, Valaldo and his monarchy, he set up with the 9 rights. But the Cuero have many rights. It's like what Valaldo did is he learned from the Cuero and he kind of put together these rights in this format but there's actually many, like let's say even tribes and different lineages within the Cuero, and they have many rights. And other rights have been channeled too. I know like the 13th right is the right of the womb, which I haven't had yet, but the womb, so it's like very much a female. But I think, of course, men can do it too because they have their inner womb, their inner place of creativity.
Exactly. How 3D of us to put a number on the right.
Yeah, so some people, I do get some flack, oh, they're not the 9. Well, actually there's many monarchy rights among the Cuero Indians. More than just 9. So, and not all of them are told to people. Some are private or secret. And, oh yeah, and Lisa was saying that I think it is, Lisa, similar to the sweat lodge where it represents, I think the womb, the 13th right, seems to be the activation of the womb. Now, I haven't read much about it, but I'd love to receive it now sometime. And then the soul star right, again, like we said, is more to do with bringing down the 5D energies, basically. So I feel like we get the star codes, then we make that direct link to source with the creator right, and then in the last right, we're bringing those codes down, and they have that solid foundation and that solid whatever. We've laid the ground down for these rights to be received into us and to get these star codes and bring down the 5D energy. It's all going to happen, Larry.
I have a feeling, a really strong feeling. It's not just the 5D energies. It's going to take us a little bit further than that.
I think so too. When I got this right, the 10th right, so I got some new downloads recently, which I have to still type up. But when I got it, that was in 2009. And at that time, they said 5D energies. But what I got just the other day, you know what, Sif, you posted a link to that Chiron in Calgary. Oh, my God. I was blown away because I've been getting stuff that day. Then I listened to that link that you posted, and he was talking about no karma, no reincarnation. That's what I was told. That was the new information about the 10th right, that we're getting out of the karmic game, reincarnation game, and that we're more. So then when I heard that, I was almost crying. I was like, oh, thank God, like, yay.
It resonates with me too, really, really, on a really, really deep level, yeah.
So that was new information that I just got. So I do agree with you that it's more than just 5D, but when I was back in 2009, even saying, oh, it's 5D energy, people are like, what? How many dimensions are there?
About the karma, it's instant, how do you put it? You pay instantly for what you do wrong. It's not, you are not collecting something in your bag to pay later. It's happening all instantly. You are handling
I don't know if you've ever heard the Buddhist talk. I heard a talk, what was it? Ah, gosh, by some Rinpoche. I don't remember who it was. And he was talking about the different levels of karma. Like the Buddhists have it really, and again, it's all about levels. I think we're leveling out because we're merging.
Yeah.
And he was saying how you can have karma that's like a slow wave that can come and hit you. Like you could have been good for 10 generations and you have this karmic wave hit you. And I thought, how fair is that? Like, you know?
Exactly.
Sorry, I had to use the restroom for a second, but you were talking about karma, and I know that on an N5D show one time, Michelle Walling and I were talking about this, and I'm wondering if karma was some kind of a manipulation trap, or do you think it's just something that we go through, that we have to pay our dues, or is it part of the genetic manipulation? I mean, if I worded that right.
I think it's an outdated system that was also manipulated, both.
Yeah, that probably originated in the Orion star system. No offense, but that's you know, I do think it's outdated. It's kind of outdated, like it used to be. Like, you know how we're connecting so easy right now with all these energies. It used to be that well, I don't know, 30 years ago, maybe, Natalie, when you first started 10 years ago, that you had to put in all this work, maybe, and all this hours of meditation, 25 hours in a row.
Yes.
And do you feel, Natalie, even just, you know, because you've been awake about 10 years or so, do you feel that it takes less? I mean, I think we touched on that.
I actually don't even, like, every day is kind of a meditation for me, and everything I do, I'm kind of very aware. Like, and I like that about the Buddhist kind of thing, they call it the Dharma, that, like, when I'm doing a mundane task, like sweeping, or doing the dishes, I used to be like, oh God, you know, grunt work, or, you know, oh, you know, and now it's like I'm clearing energy for everybody, or for my family, or for whoever. You know, you can give it to beings that are less than you, or, you know, that have it worse than you. You know, that it's like about that you realize that you're also doing something on a higher level, and that is a meditation.
You take that sign. Do you find that you take that same prideful energy in doing it, the mundane tasks? And I know that's what I like about the Buddha too. They really emphasize that whether you're sweeping the floor or whether you're doing brain surgery, you look at it with the same sort of importance and same sort of, you know, self-worth.
Oh yeah, it makes me feel so good. Like I love, like, one thing I love about in Ireland, and what I learned was putting clothes on the line. I grew up in America with the, you know, washing machine and the dryer, and I don't have a dryer here. I just have a washing machine, and all my clothes go on the line. Winter winter usually inside, but still I have like a little.
Do they have that Irish spring fresh smell to them?
They do. It is a true smell. And the sheets, when your sheets are done outside and you bring them in and you smell the sunshine and the green grass and just everything, oh, it's just lovely.
Well, how do you do that with all that rain over there in Ireland?
Yeah, you know, it's a lot of work, but it's like a meditation. I get so calm and feel so connected to everything while I'm doing the simple task of hanging sheets and clothes up. It's funny.
Why your sheets are drying in the rain?
Well, you know what you do is you run in and out, and you'll be like, oh, it's about to rain, and you run out and take them down.
Which is
so it's exercise too.
I'm just going to say that's got to be a lot of exercise in the part of the world where you're at.
Yeah.
On that note, Natalie, not to get off topic, but are you guys getting the rain that you used to? Because here in the Northwest, we're definitely not at all, and it's just really, I mean, it's not just so much a drought, it's just the weather patterns are really extreme.
Yeah, our weather pattern changed. We had 2 weeks in April that were really warm. Like for here, warm is like 20, like you're getting up into the 60s, 70s. Okay. And that is summer weather here. You know, we're that far north.
You're talking Fahrenheit, of course, because living in the, you know, being from the United
States. Yeah, Fahrenheit would be 60, 70. Celsius would be like in the 20s. And then it got really cold, and now we're in June, and this is considered summer, and it's like 40, 50 degrees, and it's rainy right now and cold.
Wow.
And we had 2 weeks. I was a tan in April because we had 2 weeks of really, really warm weather. I've been having to put fires on to keep the house warm.
Wow.
And it's the first year I've had to do that, and a lot of my neighbors are the same. So I'm hoping it'll warm up soon because it's really quite cold. You know?
it seems to me like when the sun goes down, it can be a warm, nice day. The sun can be beating down, but once that sun goes down, the temperatures really drastically drop here, more so than I've ever,
Mm.
the last few years.
I know that Texas, from what I've been reading, Texas got a lot of flooding, didn't it,
They
recently?
have a lot of flooding. I think somebody wanted. I've seen a picture yesterday. Somebody built the ark there, but and I'm glad you brought that up because I wanted to say, as far as the Texas flooding goes and the droughts that other parts of the United States are having that don't typically have them. This is another thing. All these oil pipelines that are running through the earth, running through the continents. I mean, these things need to be cleared and cleaned out, and they need to be used for water filtration, water rerouting, water desalination. I mean, I just really think, and that was an idea that I heard Cryon mention, actually. They were talking about Cryon in the chat over there, and
Uh-huh.
resonates with me so much. Those pipelines should be used for water rerouting, especially now. It's not so much the filtration and desalination, but especially rerouting now from areas that are getting huge floods and have it rerouted to areas that need the water. And I know
Yeah.
scientists will give this excuse, that excuse. Well, they can do it with oil, and those same minds, for the betterment of humanity, do that with water, as far as I'm concerned. And I don't know all the technical aspects, but I mean, it could be done. And if it's not being done because it's out of greed.
Yeah, we still have some blocks to get through in terms of at that level of getting, I don't know what you call them, policymakers, the cabal, like,
Yes,
to like let go and let us start doing because we know what we want to do and what needs to be done.
infrastructures. And oh my God, Jade, that just totally resonates because that was going to be my next point.
The
So
harp.
about the moon last night and watching the sun, they're really manipulating our weather patterns to block us. It's not so much to poison our food, which it does do that, but it's blocking us from our galactic. It's blocking us. For some reason, they're trying to hide stuff in the sky from us, and it's just fast and furious. And the galactics are trying to clean this out, clean
Right.
all the sky. But it's just we get blasted with it here in the Northwest. Whatever the hell they're doing, blowing that they're out at sea with ships.
Yeah, I think the harp thing is up in Alaska.
The original one was
Okay.
they claimed it got, yeah, and here's the thing, Natalie, about a year ago they claimed they were closing it down.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, okay, well, I doubt it. They probably built several new, more sophisticated ones in other parts of the world. So
I don't have too much of the chemtrails or harp here, but definitely just this year the weather's changed here. This spring has been funky.
Yeah,
Colder.
Yes.
Warmer earlier, way earlier. Usually the warm weather comes in May, and then it just slowly warms up May, June, July. We had April, and then it got cold.
So there was your summer.
Yeah, that's what people are saying. Yeah, that 2 weeks in April were our summer. No, get out. I won't accept it.
Yeah, somebody was mentioning in the chat they spray like hell in England. Yeah, of course they do. And I'm sure that around Stonehenge especially. And I wanted to bring up, Natalie, and I think I mentioned this to you before, in Alaska, there is, the military keeps secret, there is this 150-foot pyramid type of a crystalline structure that's very kept secret, and it could power Alaska and Canada, all the homes and everything, just by itself. This big crystalline tower. So I'm thinking if we had like 8 of these around the world, 8 150-foot crystal type structure pyramids, whatever. If I'm saying that right, I mean it just seems like the whole Earth could be powered for free. But then, hence, I mean, here comes in the greed. And,
Yeah, I think we're getting closer and closer to the free energy, but it is still kind of funny how whatever the block is, we'll know when we get through it, because I think like it'll be instantaneous revolution and not good revolution and instantaneous transmission of this free energy, and everyone's just going to be amazed.
Yeah, I think so too. You know how everything usually comes on subtly, which this has to a point. But I think,
well, that's actually, I read something. This was a biological. I love biology and science. They said that this theory about things changes happening slowly over time is actually not true. What happens is that nothing changes, nothing changes, nothing changes, nothing changes, and then boom, things change.
Yeah, well, you know
It's a
what?
huge leap. It's actually things kind of, those subtle changes, we can feel like obviously it's like there's like subtle fluctuations, but then they say literally it's like we take a huge leap.
Yeah, it's like boom. The internet
Yeah.
is like that, but I really feel like definitely with this situation here, and the free energy, I think it's just going to take off. And once the floodgates are open, there's nothing that's going to be able to be done about it. Which hence I wanted to bring up another point. I think I mentioned this before. You know how we always talk about where we're being paranoid about the grid going down, right? Cell phones, TV.
Yeah.
Well, a friend of mine had a really interesting theory. In fact, he's here with me right now. A couple of years ago, that he thinks that what will happen is the opposite. That these things will overload so much that there will be no way of control of keeping it from the people, keeping the airways from the people, charging them for, for all this stuff. I mean, all these signals come out of the air, and there's really no reason anymore. The technology's there, the Wi-Fi's there.
Oh, yeah. I mean, what are we really paying for except lining someone's pocket? It's already set up and moving. I mean, I know you do get people, we got to pay, someone has to pay for this, someone. Yeah, well, let's get that someone up here and get him to pay.
Money was an illusion. Money was created as a scam to
keep us in slavery.
Totally, and the cabal just uses it as a big monopoly game just to shift assets here and there, when really it's all completely worthless, and resources are hoarded everywhere here on Earth.
Oh, yeah, I read, I think we talked about this before, but I had read an article that said that no business is actually profitable if they had to pay for the natural resources that they get free through government, whatever programs or subsidies or tax subsidies. Like oil has a huge tax subsidy. Without that tax subsidy, they would make no money.
Exactly, with in 100-year-old nasty technology that obviously
it's not profitable, and actually probably nothing is.
Nothing is profitable.
I don't think. And why should it even be profitable? What about just making everyone's life really easy? And when we do that, that's where I think the magic will really happen, because when people have life easy, that's when their thoughts and energies, instead of going, where's my next meal? Am I going to survive? It's going on to bigger topics that we can really evolve and start going and opening these stargates and doing.
Exactly. Focus on these subjects that really need to be focused on, not worry about where your next meal's coming from.
Yeah.
5D living, basically. In 3D, and people will say, well, gee, where's the motivation in that? Nobody will want to work, or nobody will want. No, that's not true. When all that stuff is provided, which everybody has the right to, everybody's going to want to contribute totally in their own way.
Oh, yeah, in their own way. And, the way that the system is set up now, too, what I really see is like old people, autistic people, people with Asperger's or Down syndrome. They could do beautiful work. I actually think even doing the Munay-ki Rites with like people with autism or Down syndrome, they'd be great at transmitting the rites and doing work like this, because they're very connected to the earth. And like they actually have jobs to do too that are valuable and worthy. A lot of them, but in the way the system is set up right now, they don't really get a chance to shine.
The system needs to crumble, and people need to be able to shine and stand in their own power. And you know what? And when we do that, and we come to that consciousness as a collective on this planet, we'll move ahead a century, like almost overnight, in the way we do things. Hovercrafts using cosmic energy instead of raping oil out of the earth again and again and again and again. And it just, when are these people going to realize and wake up? They're destroying their own planet. And I know people, this mantra is old, and I'm not trying to get on a soapbox, but I mean, it's go time basically with this stuff, and it's really time that we start getting serious, and we can manage all this with innovative ideas, with growing hemp everywhere around the world. You know, and people,
Well, hemp would be a great thing to grow over by Fukushima. That'd be a start.
no, you're right, totally. That is one. That is probably one of the top 5 most important things that could be done to this earth right now. Is to start with Fukushima, and people talk about, you know, that hemp that's grown for that. It's not the hemp.
It can take radiation. It's a special type of hemp, and it can actually grow in that radioactive atmosphere and lock it up, you know?
Oh,
Take
yeah,
it away from the soil and our water supply.
exactly. That combined with the water filtration system. I mean, these are just 2 things that would, you know, and free energy, right there overnight, we would move ahead a century.
Oh, yeah.
All of those things, you know, and hemp.
I just, to go back on something that happened, I know Alexis isn't there, but there was all this stuff about this psychics saying this 9.8 earthquake hitting California, and it was like, I guess, hype for a movie, the San Andreas Fault.
Yeah, exactly.
I just thought that was awful. Fear-mongering, immoral.
Totally, because see, what I think has happened, and they talked to us about up here in Oregon, the big 10-point hitting someday, every day on the radio, there's fear mongering about it. But
Yeah.
what I think has happened is, I think that fault is actually being settled with help of the galactics and Mother Gaia, with little 5, 6, 7-point earthquakes out here in the Pacific, and even scientists said, well, either it'll go with the 10 or all these different smaller earthquakes will.
Because I didn't tune into it. I tuned in and I didn't get it that it was going to happen like that it was going to be this huge, you know. I tend to agree with you that probably these smaller ones will help like shift it or settle it down.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, hey, Natalie, I've got my friend here, my best friend since 1979 when we were 4 years old, Scott, and he wanted to chime in on he said he wanted to chime in on something. Yeah.
Sure. Hi, Scott.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
So what are you guys talking about today?
You gotta talk a little bit louder, man.
So what are you guys talking about today?
Yeah, we're talking about everything Pleiadian and Blu-ray awesomeness.
Oh yeah, cool. Sounds like I don't know, I was listening to you guys talking, and I don't know, the way, like you said, the way things are set up, it's just set up that, I mean, in such a way that it's inevitable for, you know, all these things to happen. I mean,
Plane crash, yeah, but for a good reason. I agree.
I just don't understand like what was the fear mongering for that, you know, San Andreas Fault movie. What did they? It's like it's vampirism. Like they're harvesting people's fear, energy harvesting.
Well, exactly. I don't know if you noticed it was even posted in the Pleiadians, Natalie, but apparently this last 28th and 29th of May, there was supposed to be this earthquake, or the cabal was going to initiate this. And I know that I was talking with Lionel about this, and I guess Alex Jones had some kind of a premonition about it too. And I think that the fear-mongering needs to stop, but I think too we're feeling these energies of a transition happening, but we're being aided by angelic realms, you know, extraterrestrials, Christ consciousness, the Blu-ray energies of settling down the earth. But there's this dark energy is just clearing right now. And what people need to understand, it's a big infrastructure that was created for control of the planet. And really, it's not any of the world leaders' faults. They're just either puppets or they're caught up in the system too. So, I mean, it's not about Obama or Putin or Netanyahu or whoever the hell is.
I like how you said his name.
Korea or whatever that guy's name is. Not
Yeah, all those people that are their names we can't pronounce. Yeah, they're. I don't actually. Do you think that? I think most of them don't know what they're doing. I sometimes I look at some of those leaders and I really don't see awakenness.
No, they don't. There's not any in there.
I mean, I don't want to say like they obviously have a soul. They're here with that thing, but I don't see that awaken like spark in their eye, and I think it must be tough.
I don't, and here's the kicker on that, Natalie. I don't think also too the infrastructure that controls all that. It's 4 or 5 levels above even the most powerful world leaders. And I don't even think they're in contact with who's really running the show. It's a
No, I get the same. I totally get that vibe that people think they know, but they don't.
they have no clue. President Obama or Putin or any of these people have huge power in the grand scheme of things. Somebody running a pencil stand or hot dog stand on Coney Island on a boardwalk. I mean, the reality of it is in the fear mongering, China versus the U.S., U.S. versus China, Russia, NATO, whatever, Israel, Iran. This stuff is controlled by the same entities above all those big organizations and countries.
Yeah, and they don't seem to want to go lightly, but they are going.
Yeah, they are.
They are going, but they don't want to go lightly, but too bad. They're going.
As male fins, people are seeing through this illusion and seeing the game and seeing the BS. And the younger people of all these countries want peace. It's these leaders that are manipulating.
I mean, I've never met anyone from another country that really wanted a war. Humanity all over wants the same things: to live, to survive, to raise their kids, to have a chance at happiness, to raise the next generation. I think that's that's the basic want for everyone. And forget about the religion and this and that and I'm a citizen of this country and I'm a we're going to be moving into galactic citizenships. It's not going to matter whether we're Islamic or Arab or whatever, Christian. We're going to be Earthlings. We're Earthlings, and we're going to join the galactic.
Exactly. No borders, no wars, no drama, squabbling over bullshit. We can focus on real issues to forward. And honestly, just kind of I was thinking of something funny, Natalie. I know you grew up in the United States. You ever hear growing up, especially on the news, of people that you might know when referring to the Middle East, they would be like, all those people over there have been fighting for thousands of years. They'll never stop.
Yeah.
Or you and I, and even if they have been fighting for thousands of years, so and how in the hell would you know? I always tell people, how the hell would you know that from your controlled media that you get in the States, from CBS or NBC or ABC Nightly News, from the bullshit you're taught in school? How else?
I know, they think they understand the information, but they're still getting filtered information. You have to be on the ground there.
Totally. It's like in the world, it's the same kind of system. But yeah, I know we've kind of digressed a little bit, but yeah, why don't you get us back on track, girl?
Yeah, so I think I'm gonna I actually have to cook dinner. Larry, I have to get on to dinner for me and the kids. So let's maybe wrap things up. I don't know if anyone else wants to add anything, but maybe I'll...
Yeah, anybody else that's in the room have anything to add? Or I didn't mean to walk over Natalie right there, but...
No, I think people are going out. Okay, so I'll just wrap up. No problem. I'll wrap up now. So you can find me at www.alayahealingservices.com. I offer shamanic healing, land healing, tarot readings, and the Munay-ki Rites. I have a Facebook page, Voice of Shamanka, and the Facebook page connected to my website, Alaya Healing Services. And my group on Facebook, Pleiadian Star Family Healers, Shamans, and Lightworkers, and I'm an admin for the Pleiadian group, the Mothership.
Wow, I think you've got that spilled down. But I wanted to say also that we'll also include these links to the show, which will be posted on Facebook in a ton of groups, dozens and dozens and dozens, hundreds maybe.
Yes, thank you, Larry. You do an awesome job.
Thank you. We'll add those links to that, and you can find me, of course, at, well, I don't even know where to start. You can find me at most Pleiadian-based groups on Facebook, over 30 regional groups, as well as some different groups like Pleiadian Lyran Kingdom, Fairy Kingdom, Reiki Healers, Pleiadian Reiki Healers, Pleiadian Twin Flames United. Of course, I'm also honored to be affiliated with and be an admin in Natalie's great group, Pleiadian Star Family, Shaman, and Lightworkers. I think we got that right. I always mess up the name of that group?
It's too long, but I just kind of leave it as it is. I think calling it Pleiadian Star Family Group is good.
Perfect with the shaman twist. No, it really is a great, unique group, and I would encourage everybody out there to definitely check it out. As well as you can find me on the French Thinkers, you can find me on Pleiadian Express Productions page, as well as the Google and YouTube channel, Pleiadian Project.
Can I jump in there? If anyone listening to this would like to have a Pleiadian Express production chat about their work, their art, anything they're doing, their starseed, what they're experiencing, I could highly recommend Larry to sort that out and help promote you. And you're very good, Larry, and it really is a small price, too, for the work that you do.
Thank you so much. I should have well, I'm going to record that part and use that spill right there. Thank you. That was great marketing.
Yeah, do, because you do a great job for giving us a voice and holding the space for that, too. And I really, really appreciate it, Larry. And we'll do one more show about the last 2 rites probably in a couple of weeks before the 10th rite.
Exactly, and I was also thinking too that maybe even after that we can do a review show of all the rites, but we'll get into that as the time comes, and I'll let you go cook a nice Irish springy dinner. And we've been kind of all over the board today. My mind's like jelly. I've had 3 hours sleep since yesterday, so I just wanted to, I think now we can just wish everybody a big cosmic dating game kiss from the staff. Da 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 da.